Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is our second video in our OneNote series. In the first video, we talked about creating a class notebook. In the second video, we're going to talk about what I think is the best way for us to share a notebook with students. So right now, we have created our 3A notebook. It's down here. I can open it up. You can see everybody has two sections. That's fantastic, but when Isaiah logs into his device, how will Isaiah get to this notebook? Now, there are a couple ways to do this. I'm going to show you one way. This is the way I did it last year. I think it works pretty well. This is by far the hardest step for students and possibly for you, just because it takes a little bit of time. It's a lot of clicks and it's not particularly exciting, but it is necessary if you would like to share your notebook with the students in your class. So I'll show you a couple different ways to get the link that we need, but ultimately what you're going to do is have students first go in online, get the notebook, and then open it up in their class notebooks or in their desktop section. Again, I know that students could continually go online and log in. I think it's a lot more functional if students use the desktop version of the OneNote on their computer. It's easier to get to, and it also gives them a lot more options in terms of the things that they can do. So let's look at option one. Option one is the hard way. We're going to do this just like math class, where I show you the more difficult way before I show you the easier way for those of you who have the add-in. So if we go back to Office 365, let me click out of this. You might go to your class notebooks page, because that's what you know to do. Okay, so you've gone to BCPS 1, you've gone into Microsoft Office 365, and you are at this screen where you have these little squares again, your little apps. Click on that, you click on class notebooks, and you end up at this screen. What we want to be able to do is manage our notebooks. So we're going to click on the little magenta icon here, and it's going to load all of my notebooks. Now, this is a newer feature from OneNote. It's not something I had last year, and it does give you a lot more flexibility in terms of what you can and cannot do. So earlier in the first video I said you can never add a section ever again. Okay, I was wrong. You can edit the sections you have. You can add a section later if you decide to do so. The other thing that's really cool that I had no idea you could do until about 15 seconds ago is that you can lock the collaboration space. So like I said, I don't use the collaboration space a lot since it's not super functional. So for me, I would probably go through and lock these, because this means that students cannot go in and type messages to each other, start bullying each other, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so great functionality there. The thing that we're really interested in here is this link. So the very first time that students come into your room and you want to have them get to your notebook, they first need to go and find it on the internet. Okay, you've got a couple options here. You could send this link to them in BCPS 1. You could send it out on a lesson tile. Those things are all a little temporary. Anytime a student's computer is re-imaged, you're going to have them go back to this link. So if you want to do that maybe the first time, you could add it to a lesson tile. But for me, I like to keep something a little more permanent. So regardless of what you choose, first thing we're going to do is we're going to copy it. So I just clicked on it. It's highlighted. I'm going to right click and copy. And what I did last year was I made a Word document. Okay, here's my Word document. Alright, so it just says Miss Dell's notebook links, period 1A, 2A, 3A. It would say 1B, period 2B, and then period 3B. And then all I did, let's see, the one I just pasted was 2A, so I'm going to paste the link below. You want to make sure you take out this OneNote bit. Okay, and that should make it a hyperlink. I have mine trained not to do that because the blue things annoy me. But I can go in here, I can insert a link, there it is, hyperlink, There's my address. I click OK, and then it's a hyperlink. All right, so there's 2A. We'll go ahead and put 3A in there as well. I'm going to lock my collaboration space. I'm going to click on link. I'm going to copy it, so right click, copy. I'm going to go back to my Word document. And because this is 3A, I'm going to paste it underneath of 3A. I get rid of the OneNote. Highlight it, insert, links, hyperlink, OK, don't worry about what it says, and there you go. Okay, so I would make my whole document just like this. There would be 6 hyperlinks, 1 for each of my classes. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to File, Save As, Computer. Okay, and I'm going to save this to the student drive. So if I scroll down, I think I'm under Mistel. Okay, there I am. So I'm going to put it in my folder. You can see here are my notebook links from last year. So I'm going to put notebook links 2016. Okay, I kept that right on my folder, so it was the very first thing students could come from, or students could come to. I'm going to save that. Okay, so now I've done everything on the teacher end. I've created my notebooks. I've pasted the links into this Word document. I have posted the Word document onto the student drive. Okay, so now we need to talk about what a student is going to do. Alright, so I'm a student. I come in. Let me close some things out here. I'm going to get rid of all of this. We want to start fresh. Alright, so now I'm a student in your class. I come into class and you say, okay class, today we're going to sign up to get your digital notebook. You are not going to have students come to Microsoft Office 365. It's where they will end up going, but you just made that handy little document for them. So you're going to say, okay students, what I want you to do is I want you to go to the student drive. I want you to click on Miss Dell, or, maybe don't click on mine, you need to click on yours. Oh my goodness, I clicked on too many things. Whew. You can see I have a lot of videos, but what I want to look for, what I want you to find is Notebook Links 2016. Please click on that. And then I want you to find your period number, and I want you to click on the link under your period number. So if you're in period 2A, you would click on this one. Now, because it's Microsoft, they have to control and click at the same time to open the hyperlink. And this is exactly what it's going to do to them, except I'm already logged in. My computer is set up to do that. If this were a student, they would be taken to... see if I can pull it up for you. Okay, if this is a student, they're going to be taken to this screen right here, the Office 365 screen. Now this is where some students have trouble. Okay, they do not have an email address, but they do have a fake email address that lets us use Microsoft. So for example, if I am James Addison, who is now a 7th grader, his username is like JBA008. Okay, that's what he uses to log into his computer. To log into Microsoft, he is going to use JBA008 at bcps.org. Now this is not something that kids do on a regular basis, so because of that, they have trouble doing it here. But anytime they log into 365, they do need to use this sort of email address looking username. So it's just their username at bcps.org, and they are going to use their internal password. Alright, so once they do that, they log in, and it's going to take them right to their notebook screen. So once they put in their information, they're like, oh, haha, I am in my notebook. And then here's where the instructions become very, very, very important. I'm unfortunately not going to be able to show you everything because my computer is already set up. However, I'm going to very heavily remind you of some things. Okay, so I'm a student, I've clicked on your notebook link, I've logged into Office 365, I have your notebook in front of me, but if you notice there is an address up here. This is the online version of your notebook. What we want to get students into is the desktop version of your notebook so that they can access it at home, they can access it with internet, without internet, they can access it anywhere. Okay, so what they're going to do is they're going to go ahead and click on Edit in OneNote. It is always, always, always going to ask you, blah, 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 Google Chrome needs to do this, launch application or do nothing. They do want to launch the application. Now, the very first time that they do this, another question is going to pop up. It's going to say, do you want to make this the default version on your device? Okay, that means, do you want to use OneNote online, or do you want to use OneNote on your computer, the desktop version? Okay, we want them to click yes. Okay, one more time. I can't show this to you, so I just have to say it to you. It will say, do you want to make this the default version? Your students must click yes. Okay, once they click yes, it's then going to ask them another question. This is make or break it for you. This is like, do my students do this right? And they end up fine, or am I going to be really confused and I have to ask Ms. Dell a question? So what you want them to do when it says, do you make this version your default? They click yes. Then it's going to give them two icons. Okay, one is going to say OneNote parentheses desktop. The other is going to say just OneNote. We must have them click on the one that says OneNote parentheses desktop. If they do not click on that version, it's going to be actually, you won't be able to get them into your notebook until you come and ask me how to do it. Also, I'll make another video on that. That will be video 4. Okay, troubleshooting. But for right now, you just need to know what students are going to see. They are going to, we're going to run through it one more time. They're going to go to the student drive. They're going to pull up your notebook links. They're going to click on their notebook link. They are going to log in to Microsoft Office 365 using their username followed by @bcps.org as if it is an email address. They're going to come right up here where it says Edit in OneNote. They're going to click on that. It is going to ask them if they want to launch the application. They are going to click yes. Then it is going to ask when OneNote opens, do you want to make this the default version? They are going to click yes. Then it's going to give them two icons. One will say OneNote parentheses desktop. The second will say OneNote nothing else. They must click on the one that says OneNote parentheses desktop. Once every student in your class has done that, they will be able to simply go into their computer on the start screen and click on the little purple notebook. Looks just like this, but on their start screen. And when they do that, they should have your class notebook as an option on the side. Okay, this has been our second OneNote tutorial video. Please let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. You should now know how to create a class notebook, and you should know how to send that notebook out to your students. If you have any questions, please contact me. My email is kdell@bcps.org. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching.